What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Top 10 Tuesday episode. This is episode 67, and for this week, we are going to be talking about top 10 favorite kid horror films out there, or kid-related horror films, or however you want to put it. There's actually a lot of, horror-themed films that are, for kids, or kid-friendly, I should say. Whether it be animated or not even animated films. There's some out there that I feel that can be watched by young kids and stuff. And I guess when we get to them, I'll explain. But without further ado, let's get right into this. In at number 10 is a film called Monster House. Now, I wasn't really expecting a whole lot from this film. I remember when this one first came out in 2006. My wife is a really big animated, she loves, kid films in general. And I picked this one up because, if I'm going to watch these type of, kid-friendly films, I usually try to watch something a little darker, hence Monster House. And I didn't really know what to expect from this one. Man, we watched this and we really both enjoyed it. It was creepy as shit, man. This is the type of film that when you show a kid, he's probably not going to pick up on everything, but it does have a lot of frightening and dark imagery in it. It's basically about a house that is across the street from this boy right here. And there's something weird about this house. It actually transforms into like this living monster, and they have to figure out exactly what's making this house tick and stuff, and because it's coming after them and whatnot. It's a really cool film, really well done film, and this one always stuck with me. I actually rewatched this one just a couple months back, actually, with my son. And he actually really enjoyed it too. He was just drawn to it. I don't know if it actually scared him or not, or if he fully understood it. He's only 5, but he was really enjoying it though. Very intrigued by it. But yeah, it's definitely one of those really creepy ass films. It's very interesting that Rupert Neepert gave this one 2 very big thumbs up. It just doesn't seem like a film that they would be reviewing on there, but I guess they did. But yeah, if you've never seen Monster House and you're into these type of films, really cool, man. I like the animation in this film too. It's pretty neat. But awesome flick, man. Really enjoyable, creepy. And it's Monster House. In at number 10. In at number 9 is Hotel Transylvania. Now, I was not expecting to like this film whatsoever because, to be honest, I'm not really the biggest Adam Sandler fan anymore. I used to like Adam Sandler, way back in the day. This is probably the first film, comedy film that I've actually liked since The Wedding Singer, to be honest. And I think Adam Sandler does atrocious films. So when I first heard of this film and he was going to be starring as, Dracula and, and the cast, Andy Samberg and Selena Gomez and Steve Buscemi, Kevin James, CeeLo, and the list goes on and on. There's lots of people in this. I didn't really know what to expect, but this is a fun film. It's horror related, of course, with all the horror characters: Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, blah blah blah. But it's fun though. It's really fun. It's quirky, and it just has it's got a lot of references to horror films and other things like that. So, it's definitely very, very kid friendly. This one's actually rated G. I think Monster House is rated PG, like a lot of these films actually. But if you've never seen Hotel Transylvania, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's I honestly think it's one of Adam Sandler's better performances, which is kind of funny considering it's just a voice role. But I don't know, man. I had a lot of fun with this. I own part 2 also. I didn't like it as much as this one, but it was okay. It's really not that great, but it's still pretty fun though. But Hotel Transylvania, pretty fun stuff. And at number 9. In number 8 is the first non-animated film in here, and that's The Willies. This one right here is actually PG-13, but it is directed towards, younger kids. Maybe not like 5-year-olds, but, kids 8, 9, 10 can watch this and stuff, but which does have some pretty dark imagery and disturbing things going on. This with like dogs going to the microwaves and really creepy ass kids with bugs and shit like that. It's basically an anthology. It's got 2 stories in it. It starts out like your typical setup where sitting around a campfire and telling some stories. I always like this one. I think Sean Astin actually plays the same character in this one as his character from the Goonies, I believe. I think that's what I remember. I haven't watched the Willies actually in a long time. But if I do remember, I think he's playing the same character. I think they even reference it, I believe. But yeah, the story in this one, I think that really a lot of people don't like as much as I think is the one with the kid with the flies and stuff. That's the one that really sticks out to me because it's fucking nasty. It's really nasty shit. But yeah, the Willies, cool little flick. In at number 8. In at number 7 is the first one on my list that Tim Burton is involved with, and of course that is Frankenweenie. Tim Burton remade his own short from the early 80s, I believe, is when he done Frankenweenie. And I was really happy that he did a full-length version of Frankenweenie. I remember when this one first came out, it seemed like the consensus by a lot of people was they didn't really care for it that much, and I thought this was fantastic. I really like the mind of Tim Burton, and in general, I like pretty much all of his films. I think he's just a very unique person. He always puts a dark twist on things that work, in my opinion. Great animation again. The stop motion, black and white, basically about a young boy that loses his dog. The young boy's name is Victor, of course, Victor von Frankenstein, and he brings it back to life and becomes Frankenweenie. Again, just really, really fun stuff. Tim Burton always seems to nail the, he's just a really interesting director. He just always seems to, do such a great job. This one right here has got just such a good elements of comedic moments and dark elements and stuff. And I don't know if you've never seen Frankenweenie, man, give this one a shot. I really enjoy this film. I need to upgrade this to Blu-ray. I think I got this copy used at probably some movie store that was going out of business for super cheap. I think that's how I got that. But yeah, Frankenweenie, definitely check it out. It's really awesome. That was number 7. Number 6 is another Tim Burton film, and that is Corpse Bride. Of course, Johnny Depp and Helen Carter. This is such a great film, man. Again, awesome stop motion animation, which is very prevalent in this list. It's by far my favorite type of animation. I love anything stop motion. It feels so there's some kind of weird quality about stop motion animation that is hard to ignore when you watch it. It just has this really likable quality to it, and when you're watching a film like this, it just works so well. Corpse Bride, I guess Tim Burton, just awesome. Actually, kind of co-directed this one with Mike Johnson, which is interesting. But I believe Danny Elfman does the music in this again. I think, yeah, he does. So, of course, this movie just feels and looks and is just your typical Tim Burton film. But yeah, if you've never seen Corpse Bride, man, give it a shot. It's fantastic stuff, man. I think, man, Johnny Depp and Helen Carter, they do such a great job together. I mean, of course, they always have great chemistry because they do so many films together. But yeah, number 6. In at number 5 is, of course, Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, this movie right here always tripped me out because for years and years, when I was younger, when did this movie come? I can't even remember when this one came out. But I always used to think that Tim Burton actually directed this film, but he totally didn't direct it. This is based on his story that he had wrote, and, he produced this one and wrote it and stuff. But he never directed this film, and it completely feels like a Tim Burton directed film. Everything about this one, but yeah, Jack Skellington, one of my favorite characters. I actually dressed up as him a few years back for Halloween. Awesome stuff. But yeah, I've always liked the premise behind this film. Yeah, really, really great stop motion animation. Kind of combining Halloween and Christmas together, and just such a great film, man. Overall, just such an enjoyable watch. Imagery, again, fantastic. Really cool story, really fun stuff. It just flies by when you watch it. It's crazy. So Nightmare Before Christmas, I'd like to upgrade that one actually someday too. Really, really good film. That was number 5. And at number 4 is a pretty new film, actually. It came out a couple years back, and that's Paranorman. I never actually got around to seeing this one until recently, just in the last couple months. I've had it for a while, just never watched it. When it first came out, I had no interest really in picking it up because I generally don't buy these films. I just accumulated a lot of kids' films over the years by chance. But this one right here really knocked it out of the park for me. It kind of gave me a new appreciation for kids-related horror films or dark films. And I hate saying the word horror because it's not, they're not really fully horror, but they just have horror elements. But basically about a young kind of outcast kid that is forced to stop this curse that's on his town. And this one right here, it's got ghouls and zombies and just a whole pile of crazy things that are going on, witches, and This one right here is just such a cool film because they throw, you know, they give you jabs at like, Friday the 13th and Halloween. There's all these little shout outs in the film to these classic horror films and stuff. And, obviously a lot of kids would never really catch on to that, but, Paranorman, fantastic film overall. Great stop motion animation. Again, just fantastic. This movie looks just ridiculous on Blu-ray too. Like the transfer it's just so fucking clear. It's amazing. I couldn't recommend this one enough. It's probably one of my favorite newer kind of dark related horror films for kids out there. But check out Paranorman. It's really fantastic. Number 4. In at number 3 is The Gate. Now, this is where you could argue, like, that's not really for kids, but in my opinion, it is. I seen this movie when I was really young. It is rated PG-13, so, I mean, it's still aimed at younger crowds. You can still let younger kids watch this one, but, of course, I love the stop-motion, the little creatures, the little ghouly things in this, man, just so fantastic. This movie just has such a great atmosphere. It's well acted. Of course, Stephen Dorff is in this movie, and he's super young. But yeah, it's basically about these kids that open up this porthole for these little ghouly things to come out, and they're trying to take over the world. Now they got to figure out a way to stop these things. Yeah, they open up this gate in their backyard, but everybody knows The Gate, man. It's just such a fantastic film. Really, really great stuff. Yeah, The Gate. In at number 3, in at number 2 is the classic Gremlins. Again, another film that I believe is rated, this is 14A, so PG-13. Gremlins, definitely, it's kid-friendly to a point, I guess. I watched this one with my 5-year-old at Christmas time, and he loved it. Absolutely loved it. Thought the Gremlins were the coolest things. Loved Gizmo, loved the bad ones. Just loved everything about this film. He was just glued to it, so, kind of proves the point that this one really is directed at kids, younger kids can really enjoy it too. To a point, there is a lot of scary moments in this and stuff, but we all know the story of Gremlins. Just a really fantastic film. Directed by Joe Dante, which is, kind of a shame story because Joe Dante, seemed to have the world behind him for a lot of years there. Did such great films and just doesn't really get the love anymore, but such a shame, man. Ended up popping in Gremlins 2 after this one, and my kid, like me, got super bored. I really don't care for Gremlins 2 at all. I don't know what it is about that movie. I just can't stand it, but Gremlins, fantastic stuff. And, of course, in at number 1 is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it is The Monster Squad. Again, another PG-13 film. For scary moments, I guess a little bit of language in this one. Fat kid farted. The Monster Squad, what can I say, man? This is just, it's classic. I'm such a huge Universal Monster fan, so this movie right here, to me, is just, it's just the epitome of awesomeness, man. There's so many funny moments and great characters, and the whole third act in this film is just fantastic. Really, really fun stuff with all the Universal monsters and stuff, and great characters, good comedic moments, and to this day, I still... I love how the kids are so afraid of this German guy. When I was a kid, there was this guy that was very similar to that character in this film, and it always makes me laugh every time I think of this, because I think back to my childhood about this guy. I don't even think he was German. I think the guy that I was referring to in my neighborhood, I think he was like Russian or something, or Romanian. I don't know. He was freaky though. But yeah, The Monster Squad. Awesome stuff, what can I say? But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this Top 10 Tuesday, and running out of time on the video here, because so going to have to leave it there. But anyways, guys, I will check you next week with a brand new episode. I don't even know what the theme is, of course, but check you then. Peace out, homies. Yeah.